A warm fire sits in the hearth, slowly dying down into cold ash. Beside it, a half-eaten meal has been left on the table. Only 24 hours earlier, this village was a picture of routine. Families followed the same chores and traditions they had for generations, isolated from the outside world. As night fell, the fires were stoked and the doors were latched. Somewhere between that sunset and the following dawn, every inhabitant disappeared. When travelers arrived at daybreak, they found a settlement of empty houses. There was no greeting at the gate, only a heavy, uncharacteristic silence. Authorities inspected every floorboard and corner for blood or signs of a struggle. They found nothing. There were no bodies, no weapons, and no evidence of a forced evacuation. The lack of any forensic trail strips away the standard tools of an investigation. It presents an event that contradicts the predictable ways humans leave marks on their environment. Official search teams arrived shortly after the discovery. They immediately established a perimeter, certain they would find a trail in the soft earth surrounding the village. This map shows the village layout within the dense forest. Trackers found no footprints leading away. It was as if no one stepped past this line. Investigators looked for signs of a mass evacuation, a coordinated flight into the woods under the cover of darkness. But inside the homes, the most valuable possessions remained. Heirlooms, warm clothing, and even currency were found sitting neatly on tables, untouched by the owners. Every door was also found standing wide open. People fleeing a threat or moving to a new location typically secure their property. They do not leave their most intimate spaces exposed to the elements. The items left behind demonstrate that this wasn't a planned departure. The physical state of the village proves they did not leave by choice. Analytically, scientists then looked toward possible environmental causes. They proposed that a sudden leak of toxic gas from the earth might have driven the population away in a blind panic. This cross-section shows how heavy gases naturally displace oxygen, settling in the valley floor where the houses were built. In theory, this would create an invisible, lethal zone. However, toxic gas and natural plagues leave behind a clear record: the dead. Here, there were no bodies to recover and no graves to find. As every rational theory failed, the investigation moved into more unsettling territory. Stories of localized curses and unseen forces began to circulate among the search teams. The elimination of every scientific explanation creates a vacuum of logic. It forces us to consider that something occurred here that the current record cannot explain. Today, the village is a collection of rotting timber and overgrown paths. The forest has slowly begun to reclaim the buildings, hiding the rooms where the fires once burned. Modern visitors describe a persistent sense of unease. They speak of hearing distant whispers or the feeling of being watched from the shadows of the empty doorways. The human mind is driven to find a resolution for every event. When a gap this large exists in the historical record, it creates a specific, lingering dread. We live in an age of constant surveillance and digital tracking, yet this site is a reminder that a population can still go dark without leaving a trace. This raises a question we can't comfortably answer. If it happened to them, could a similar anomaly happen again today? The mystery isn't just that the people are gone. It is the realization that whatever took them was never caught and may still be out there.